Okay. Grand Rising, Grand Rising, everyone.
Yes.
Grand Rising, Elizabeth. Wealth Building Wednesday. Wealth Building Wednesday show.
Yes.
I'm so excited. I hope y'all enjoy today because I've been up all night. This presentation together to give you all something that you can walk away with, some actionable steps. And so I hope y'all enjoy because I got 1 hour sleep. So praise God. It's so good to see you all here. Welcome, welcome everyone. What a wonderful day. Today is just amazing. Okay. I'm just so thankful and grateful for you all. I'm just so thankful and grateful for 2026. I'm just so thankful. Today is going to be a wonderful and amazing day, right?
Mhm.
So that's what I'm setting for today. A very wonderful, productive day. God is always showing me that life is good. There is always somebody, who wish they were in your shoes. And so let's all give ourselves some love and some grace
Mhm.
every day that we wake up. Don't be so so hard on ourselves, right? Because it's you can find a blessing every single day. All right, with that being said, how's everything going? Anybody get their refund checks yet? Anybody excited about when they get their refund checks, what they gonna do with it? Anybody have any plans? Well, if y'all don't have any plans, I hope what I share with you would give you some ideas of what to do on not just being a consumer and become a owner. Okay. Anybody open up a brokerage account or anything? Made additional investment? Anybody did anything? You want to share? Thought it was tough, but it was really easy. No one?
You froze up, honey.
The session. Okay, what about now? Am I
You're
good
good.
now?
Mm-hmm.
All right, praise God. Okay. I got the power.
You got the power.
I got the power. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, can y'all see this?
Yes.
I'm gonna open up wide.
There we go.
So, welcome to Grand Rising Elizabeth Wealth Building Wednesday. I see some new people here. For those who don't know, my name is LaKeisha LaGrande, also known as Madam Finance, because I just love helping everyday people build wealth with confidence, especially women. So, today we're going to talk about the asset game, okay? Stewardship, having a strategy, and ownership.
Mhm.
Let's build wealth one move at a time. Gotta say this disclaimer because this will be recorded. This presentation is for educational purposes only. I'm not providing personalized investment advice. I'm not recommending you purchase or sell a specific stock. Always do your own research or consult a licensed professional before you invest. Ground rules and expectations. Let's keep the energy positive. Good vibes only. This is not a quick get rich session. It's a wealth building session. I'm not a day trader. I'm not in a I'm I'm sorry. I will not invest for you or tell you what to invest in. This is an educational session. I'm not a financial planner. I am an investor and an educator. The asset game is about ownership. This year is about making intentional moves, right? My role today is to teach you how investing and asset ownership functions and so that you can think independently, right? That you can do things and have a good conversation if you decide to talk to a financial planner. I want you to be able to feel comfortable to be able to talk and understand the lingo. I'm not here to tell you what to buy at all, but I'm going to give you some really good information. So if you don't have a pen and paper, I recommend that you have one so you can take down some really live functional companies and different things like that and ETFs. There are two games, only two games. Game one is earned income. You show up, you get paid. You stop, your income stops. It's safe, predictable, but also is limited. Game two is asset ownership. You own, it pays. You sleep, it grows. Slow to build, but unlimited potential. You cannot accidentally move from game one to game two. You must decide to. You have to be intentional to. You have to want to change your financial situation. You have to want to be wealthy. Have to want to be able to live a better lifestyle. To go from game one to game two. I want to talk a little bit about the mindset, just a little bit. Money is not a reward. Money is not a prize for working hard. Money is a tool, it's a worker, it's a seed. If you treat it like a reward, then you'll spend it. But if you treat it like a worker, you will deploy it. You all have heard me many of times saying, "Yeah, your money needs an assignment. You have to have plans for it. Because if you don't have plans for your money, somebody else will have plans for your money. So you have to have an assignment for your money. You move this out the way.
LaKeisha,
Yes, ma'am.
were you doing millionaire
My success story.
success stories for Dr. Russ?
My apologies, okay? I was ready to dive in and give y'all some stuff. Get to the good stuff. Okay, yes. Now here goes a success story. I just chose one today. Just pulled one out, so I don't know what it's gonna be about. But this is a success story. Mr. Howard Schultz started with very humble beginnings. The CEO of Starbucks grew up in a public housing project in Brooklyn, New York, with his parents and siblings. They were a family of five living in a small two-bedroom unit. His father was bounced by the system from job to job, and his mother. He didn't finish high school. Always pushed her children to believe in their ability to succeed. Howard Schultz always wanted a better life. He would go over a nearby fence that separated the poor areas from the affluent areas and looked at the homes and cars and families. He would then imagine himself living a better life. Howard decided to work to build his own business, but had very little money. To make his dream of business ownership a reality, Howard took out loans. He worked as a bartender and even sold his own blood to keep his vision moving forward. Howard continued to grow in business and is now the CEO of Starbucks. They now have over 5,500 locations in 50 different countries. His current net worth is over $3 billion. Mr. Schultz is now a multi-billionaire. He is also a philanthropist and donates millions of dollars to assist those in need all over the world. Mr. Schultz wrote in his book, Pour Your Heart Into It. That's when he asked, how did Starbucks build the largest coffee house company in the world? His response was, one cup at a time. I decree and declare that we are all a success story in Jesus' name. I love these success stories, because sometimes we don't know what it took for them to get to that point, where they are. And it's just a reminder that you can do it. Like God is no respecters of persons. Like if we just keep our focus, we just keep being diligent, we all will get our suddenly. We will truly get our suddenly. Starbucks, okay? All right. So I want to talk about hard work. Why hard work feels exhausting sometimes. It's not laziness, it's misalignment. No equity, no compounding, no leverage, no ownership. Motion is not momentum. What is an asset? An asset puts money in your pocket, it grows in value, pays you repeatedly. Examples would be ETFs, exchange traded funds, dividend stocks, REITs, which is real estate investment trust, businesses, and intellectual property. So, for those who may be new here and don't understand or don't know what ETFs or REITs are, I highly recommend you go to madamfinance.com, go to shows, and I have a ton of information regarding REITs and ETFs. And today I will talk a little bit about these different areas. Asset considerations. We are about to get our refund checks. People, I'm getting bonuses, different things like that. And so I just want to give you some ideas on what to think about when you get, because you could do a lot with a lump sum, right? And so I just want you to change your mindset. This is 2026, 2026, y'all. 2026. I'm so excited about 2026. Oh, have mercy. All right, so we're going to growth ETFs on the infrastructure of innovation. Maybe you might want to think about dividend ETFs, building an income stream. I love building income streams, okay?
You froze, LaKeisha.
Oh,
Okay, you're back.
I'm back. All right, let me pull this here so I won't keep moving back. Own real estate without owning property, commercial real estates, without being a landlord, without worrying about toilets, without worrying about tenants. I don't know about you all, but I'm getting older now, so I want to live life a little easier. I don't want a whole lot of responsibilities. So REITs really work for me, and I do have them in my portfolio. Growth builds wealth. Dividend builds income. And the most wonderful thing about this, ladies and gentlemen, is that everybody can do this. Everyone can do this. Whew. Now, y'all know I've been really talking about artificial intelligence. And so we're going to talk about that today because it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. We need to embrace it. We need to embrace it. So y'all know I've talked about last year about AIQ. So this here, ladies and gentlemen, is AIQ. This is the ticker symbol for Global X Artificial Intelligence and Technology ETF. This ETF has over 80 plus companies within the ETF. The ETFs is like look at it as a basket of fruit, a basket that has all these different companies in the basket. So instead of just owning one company, you have access to multiple companies. However, let me make this clear. You don't own the individual stocks that's within the ETF, but you benefit from all the profits and losses. If there's a loss in there, you profit for that. But it's instant diversification, right? So this ETF focuses on AI software, data, semiconductors, global tech exposure, diversified AI ecosystem. We're going to talk about the ecosystem because AI is not going anywhere. If we're using AI, it would be wise to invest in artificial intelligence. BOTZ, this is the ticker symbol ETF for Global X Robotics and Artificial Intelligence ETF. This ETF has over 50 companies. Their focus is on robotics, automation, industrial AI, very more concentrated. AI and technology ETF breakdown. This is the second set. QTUM, Defiance Quantum ETF. This ETF also has over 80 plus companies inside of it. It's a mix of AI and quantum computing plus machine learning. Forward looking innovation basket. So they're up on the trends, the new things that's coming out, innovation. Then you have IXN, iShare Global Tech ETF. This ETF has 120 plus companies. And when I talk about these are companies that are highly involved in artificial intelligence, some shape or form. And I also have these ETFs that I'm talking about. They're also in my portfolio. 120 plus companies is here. Now, what I really like about this ETF is because it has global exposure of not only just the United States companies, but it also is involved in the international companies, companies that's heavily involved in artificial intelligence. So it's a broader tech infrastructure. Clarity time. So AI, let's just get a good understanding of what I just talked about, just in case you like feeling overwhelmed. But that was a lot of information. These ETFs. Oh, sorry. Okay. AI runs on electricity. It runs on data centers. It runs on chips. It runs on infrastructure. So you don't need to pick just one company. You don't need to just pick NVIDIA because you will own the whole ecosystem. Do y'all get that? The whole ecosystem. Because you need the chip, right? NVIDIA is known for the for chip. Anybody who wants the chip for for artificial intelligence, they typically go to NVIDIA. But but what about all those other companies that is needed before the chip is even made? Right? I'm talking about from design to manufacturing to licensing, all the way up. You want to benefit on the artificial, the whole supply chain to the actual chip being made. Now, if NVIDIA is making all that money, can you imagine all of these other companies that are needed before the chip is even made? We should own some cash flowing assets. SCHD, it's an ETF. 100 dividend paying U.S. companies. I love dividend stocks. I love getting paid every 3 months. Y'all love getting paid passive income? Yes, Moonlight Minerals, your hand is up, babe.
Yeah, I had a question. For those four ETFs, I guess, I know you mentioned you invested in a couple. What's the typical, do you know the typical like return on investment percentage on those? Or I guess, I know you're not like, you're not going to give us specific financial advice, but just out of curiosity, um, what would be wise, like the amount to invest and how long to hold it and stuff like that?
All right, that's a great question. And I'm not going to go to each one because actually it's more, I'm just sharing like four.
Oh, okay.
So one of the things you look at, and I do highly recommend to go to the past shows, but I really break down the ETFs and to really look at the expense ratio. So you want to look at the expense ratio. Some of the 10, I'm putting together something for you all that you can have, but this is just the four. That it does break down the percentages, how much, who, which ones are paying dividends, which one is not paying dividends, and the actual percentages. So I like ETFs better than the mutual funds because of the expense ratio, which is very important. The
Okay.
fees that's associated with, which is very, very low. The
Okay.
next reason why I love the ETFs, and most people, a lot of people like them who do invest in them, is because they're professionally managed, right?
Mm,
So that way you do not have to constantly keep looking at your portfolio
mm-hmm.
like you would maybe want to just even if you buy some individual stocks. So what we're doing passive income and we're doing generational wealth building. So it's buying and holding, like not paying attention to the noise, not constantly looking at your account
Yeah.
all the time to see if it's going up and down. Because when you do that, especially if you're new to investing, you panic if you see that, uh-oh, I just lost some money. I just lost some. No, just let it go and just have your plan. This should be a 5 year, 10 year, 20 year, 30 year hold.
Got it. Okay.
And then over time, like it's something called dollar cost averaging, which I have talked about in the past. That's why I'm recommending that people go to the other shows that has talk about the ETFs because I talk about a lot of that in the passive income, and then I kind of like repeat it on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, so sometimes you're gonna buy it when it's low. Sometimes you're gonna buy it at middle price. Sometimes you might buy it at high, then it might go low. And so when it go low, this is where a lot of people panic. For example, I bought this stock at $80. Ooh, now it went down to $40.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look at it like you just lost your money. Look at it like you would look at a Coach purse that went
Mm-hmm.
on sale.
Yeah.
So this is the
Okay.
time to buy. Like, woo, let me stack up on it. Buy. That's why sometimes it's
Oh,
good
okay.
to
Makes
have a
sense.
little bit of money in your brokerage account just sitting for the times if it do dip and go down.
You can
Now
buy
you want,
more.
bam, there you
Mm-hmm.
go. And then over time, history has showed, you know, that you'll be okay. And
And that reminds me, if you don't mind me commenting, but that reminds me of, when the pandemic hit, my mother told me to purchase Pfizer and Moderna stock.
okay.
And I did, and I held it. And unfortunately, well, fortunately and unfortunately, after the pandemic slowly ended, the stock plummeted. So now my concern is, just like you said, don't look at it as losing money. Just purchase more shares, and I'm hoping maybe in the next few years it'll go back up. But I was nervous because I'm like, I made a lot of return on investment for those stocks. I didn't sell them, I held on to them. So now I'm just looking like, well, now what? Because the pandemic was, kind of a once in a lifetime event. So now I'm wondering, how do I recoup that money because of a global event?
Okay. So one of the things I recommend is before you purchase anymore, right? You want
Mm-hmm.
to look at the companies, right? Just look up, see what it is, what the news is saying. What is the
Mm-hmm.
company doing? Look, pull up the prospectus and see what it's doing, right? But definitely, we talked about Warren Buffett, and Warren Buffett said, rule number one is what? Anybody know? Don't lose money. Rule number two is remember rule number one. So it doesn't do you any good, really. My perspective, because if you pull out now, you definitely at a loss.
Yeah.
You definitely at a loss.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to purchase anymore, hold on to it until it gets, you know what I'm saying, until it
Mm-hmm.
gets to where you want, right? But
Mm-hmm.
this is supposed to be long term. So
Right.
no, I don't recommend, pulling out
Mm-hmm.
without doing the research,
Okay.
looking up what the company is doing. Like, what is the company doing? Do they have any plans? Like, because the
Mm-hmm.
information is public.
Right.
It's public. And so you can see like who the CEO is, all of those different things.
Kind of like sorry to interrupt you, but sorry. Kind of like Red Lobster, like they like went bankrupt or something and then they got a new CEO. So it's almost like, dang, I wish I would have bought stock when they went bankrupt, because once they got a new CEO and he was like really heavy on social media and like bringing the young people into the restaurant, I could have made a little, little chunk of change there because of, who is now running the company.
Oh, that is
Um,
so good.
so now that you got me thinking, like, okay, I'm thinking of all these instances, kind of like the whole GameStop thing and like all these other companies who are going bankrupt and then they pick up and get a new CEO and then they end up skyrocketing. So yeah, thank you for the information. I'll sit back. I know you got a presentation to finish.
You know, a lot of people may also have that. Wanted to know something similar to that. So it's really, really good. So one of the things that I love, especially mentorship, and I like to know things ahead of time before I'm even there. Because when I do get there, I already know pretty much what to do and how to handle a situation. So no, I appreciate you. I thank you for speaking up and having those questions. So now we're talking about on cash flowing assets again. We got VYM. So these are the ticker symbols, right? And you can go to find out about the stocks, the pricing, and different things like that. Because some of the stocks that I talk about, the ETFs, are, believe it or not, under $100, under $100. So some of them are not. But don't let that be the determining factor regarding the prices of these ETFs, these different stocks that's out here, because there's something called partial shares, which I have talked about on a lot of occasions, right? So you can do that. And the minimum, can somebody tell me what's the minimum that you need that you can start investing in? Can anybody?
Zero.
Zero is $0 to open up a brokerage account. How much does it cost to start investing?
Five
$5.
Okay. Thank y'all. $5.
$5.
$5. You can start investing with $5, right? $5. So you can start investing with $5. It's called partial shares. So don't let the pricing, oh, this stock is 600 or 500. Don't let that be the determining factor whether or not you purchase that stock, right? Because you're going to get your due portion of what you invested. So don't let that be a determining factor. This stock is $500 or $300. It's going to take me a long time. Don't look at it like that. It's going to take me a long time before I can get at least one share. Don't look at it like that. Just be consistent. And we're going to get further into that. And so NASDAQ is a place where you can go to, you can type in the company name, or you can put these ticker symbols in, and it will show you a lot of information regarding the pricing and different things like that. And we're going to go over how to read those different things, especially in the Legacy Building Academy. So VYM, this the ticker symbol, has 500 plus high dividend companies. So that means all of those companies in there pay you dividends. Broad S&P, which is Standard & Poor's ETF, has 500 large United States companies in it. Growth ETFs equal appreciation, meaning, like you were talking about Moonlight Minerals, you was talking about, like, if you bought the stock at $50, then it went up to $80. That's appreciation. So that's one way. That's growth stocks, the ones that don't do dividends. Then you got the dividend ETFs, which bring you the income. But I love it because you can get a double whammy. You can get the growth of it going up as well as getting paid dividends on a regular basis. At 50 plus of age, income really matters. Yeah, it really matters. So you might really want to make sure that you're getting income and getting paid on paid. Would you prefer your investments to grow or grow and send you checks? Anybody? I need some interaction here. Would you
Grow and send me
Go and
checks.
send checks.
Okay, grow and send checks. That's what I like. That's what I like. I like dividends. I like dividends.
It's all about the dividends.
It is. It's all about the dividends, and I see right now I have the wrong slide up, but it's okay. This is not the right slide. Okay, so this is the 10-year question. If nothing changes, where will you be in 10 years? If you keep everything the same, where will you be in 10 years? You'll be older,
And in the same place.
possibly more tired, slightly more savings. You might have slightly more savings, but still dependent on earned income. Or you'll be owning assets, receiving dividends, watching compounding work. The thing about it, 10 years, 20 years, 15 years, it's coming whether you like it or not. So are you going to be to change your financial situation or are you not? Because the time passes either way. You want to make sure you pay yourself first. Just like the lights are non-negotiable, just like rent is non-negotiable, paying yourself becomes non-negotiable. Do anybody have any questions so far? I'm going to get out of this and give me 1 second. I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second. Have anybody decided what they're going to do with their income tax? Are you all going to, Have big purchases you're going to be buying? What's going on?
So I was thinking about what I would do with the money. And when you say pay yourself first and what that looks like, and then I'm reflecting on the information we just learned, and I thought about how my money needs to work for me. Um, I'm thinking about investing in those AI ETFs because that's the biggest question I had this whole year is what can I do to get on the groundwork on investing into AI technology because technology is here. I remember back in 2020 when I was first introduced to ChatGPT was a young man who worked at my job and I was like, what is this? And he was explaining it to me. I'm like, what? And so that was when I knew, oh, this is going to be huge. This is going to be life changing, huge. I even see it in my current position and the industry, even in the healthcare industry. AI is changing the way physicians and healthcare people do healthcare. Um, so it affects every aspect of every industry. And so, to answer your question, I want to invest in AI technologies, and I think that's what I'll be spending my money on.
Awesome. Awesome. So I want to talk about one of my favorites is turning bills into assets. So just say like now you own Verizon. You have a Verizon bill. So if you have a Verizon bill, then maybe you might want to own some Verizon or own telecommunication companies, right? DTE bill. Maybe you might want to own utilities or energy companies. Amazon purchases. Maybe you might want to own some Amazon. You shop on Amazon on a regular basis. Or own consumer sector exposures. If you don't own it, then all you're doing is funding it and you're just making them rich and richer and richer. Instead of being a consumer only, become a consumer and a owner, right? So immediately after I think I had my Ford truck maybe 6 months. Maybe I think about 6 months, maybe 7. And immediately, I don't just drive a Ford, I also own Ford, right? So we want to think about that. We have mastered spending money, but we haven't mastered ownership. Ownership. How many companies did you give money to this week? Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. How many companies did you give money to this week? How many of them do you own? Right? It'll make you feel good. You own some stuff. I'm telling you, this is a whole nother ball game. You look at the companies differently. You'll be happy that they paying Verizon and paying DTE and AT&T. Okay? You using it, you paying for it. So other people will too. So I want you all to really think about that. All right, we went over that. Moonlight Minerals, you hit it on the spot. You said AI is not going nowhere. That's right. AI is not the future, it is the present. It's the current present. How many of you use GPS? I can't see the chat if anybody putting anything in the chat. How many of you do online banking? How many of you are streaming? How many use ChatGPT? That's AI infrastructure right there. You are already in the AI economy, their ecosystem already. The question is, do you own it? Do you own it? I truly believe AI is going to make a lot of people millionaires and billionaires. People are using it. It's still, believe it or not, it's still at the beginning stages. You might want to think about it. We talked about the AIQ. You can look up these ticker symbols also. I said NASDAQ, Yahoo Finance. There's other places where you can get that information. We talked about that. Ownership. Ownership is the new job security. Yes, Moonlight Minerals.
Just really quick, I was curious to know what browsers does the audience use? I recently discovered a browser called Comet, also known as Perplexity. My friend put me onto it. I think it was only like a select, like you have to be invited to join it or whatever. I noticed that it's AI. It is an AI powered browser. It's also, to me, more efficient than using Chrome. In fact, Chrome tends to slow my computer down and take a lot of space. So I've been using Comet instead. And you mentioned Yahoo Finance and all that. It has on there a finance tab specifically where you can go and just click on it, and it just opens up, the news and all this stuff. Like, it's just readily available. You don't have to Google anything. It's like right there. So I was curious to see what kind of browsers does everyone use? Do you use Safari, Chrome, Explorer? But Comet is an AI powered browser that I recently discovered. So I just wanted to share that with everyone.
How do you spell that?
Um, if you Google Comet, Comet, but it comes up as perplexity.ai. But the browser itself is called Comet.
Okay.
Like a comet in the sky.
Thank you, babe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I have quite a few people that use Perplexity AI. I haven't yet because how I use Claude and as far as Chat GPT, and then I also use the Chat GPT. And they're both my business partners. So this may be something you all may want to think about. They're both my business partners, my business strategists, right? And so when I am brainstorming and I'm doing work on building my empire, I will take the response from ChatGPT, which is Sage. I call him Sage, which means wise counselor. I would take that information, copy it, and put it into Claude and let Claude know, hey, I just gave Sage the same information. This was Sage's feedback. And I'll put that in, and then boom. And I do it vice versa. And boy, I tell you, the collaboration between us three is so powerful. It's just so powerful. And so I use them both together. And sometimes Sage is right on point, has some great ideas. And then sometimes Claude be having some really good ideas also. And so by combining them two, oh, we just get some powerful and amazing results. So right now, I'm just pretty much moving in silence, but I am so excited. That's why I'm so excited about 2026, y'all. 2026. Woo! So ownership is the new job security. Jobs are temporary. They got this women's manifesto thing going on that Stacy familiar with about how women are losing their jobs. And AI is going to change a lot of situations, Pensions are disappearing. Inflation doesn't pause, so inflation is still going to be going up. Assets work even when you don't. That's why it's important about ownership. Wealth building is stewardship. If you don't give your money assignment, It will find distractions. If you don't have a plans for your money, again, somebody else will have plans for your money. Like the restaurants, you ain't supposed to be eating all the time. You know, vacations, whatever, clothes, shoes. If you don't have no plans for it, then you'll just start spending it in other places. How many of you are ready to stop being only a consumer? Anybody tired of being on just only this side?
I am.
Okay. Now, we're talking about true wealth building here. True wealth building. It's boring. It's not exciting. It really is not exciting. If you're looking for excitement, investing might hurt you if you're looking for excitement because this is something that we're building consistently. The formula is for 2026, the Grand Rising Elizabeths and everyone else is to at least pick one simple ETF. I have given so many ETFs out here for you to look at. Great for beginners, great for if it's your first time. They're professionally managed. The fees are so very low. You can go ahead, just set it and forget it. We're talking about long-term wealth. Invest the same amount monthly if you can, right? So I do have a certain amount that I invest in on a monthly basis, but by me being in sales, my income fluctuate. So sometimes I got that minimum, and sometimes I be like, "Ooh, yes, I'm about to put $300 or $400 on it, or whatever." But I do have my minimum. I do have it set for money coming in my account on the 15th. Money is going straight to my brokerage account. Now, sometimes it'll sit in there for a minute, but at least I know it's over there. So when I find my time, then I'll go in and say, look at, what I have. Ignore the noise. Quit. I mean, there's so much on YouTube, it's so much on the internet. Oh, if you invest in this, you're gonna make $1 million. You're gonna invest in this, you're gonna do no. Pretty much you moving in silence. You have a plan, a strategic plan. Stick to that plan. Ask God to guide you within your investments. Change your mindset can be challenging. We mess up. Sometimes we consistent, then we're not. Don't try to build generational wealth. We're talking about generational wealth. Something that you can leave your children and your children's children. They are actually watching you. They're watching you. They're seeing how you move. They're seeing your finances, right? And once you can start, anybody can do this. Give them allowance. You can give them allowance. Hey, my mother and them used to give me an allowance, especially once I did my house chores, my work, she'd give me a little allowance and test them and show them, hey, take part of your 10% of that and put it, in the ETF, put it in here, see what they like. You can't go wrong, you know? And it's long term. Like, especially if they're young, they got time on their hands, baby. $5. They keep doing $5 at a young age or teenager age. They'll get in a habit, and once they're gonna start seeing that money growing over time, they're gonna get excited. They're gonna want to see more and do more and do more. But you want them to get in that habit, put it in there. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Yes, ma'am.
I wish I had this knowledge when I was a teenager because all I ever saw was get money and go spend it. That was the routine that my mama did. Get money, pay bills, go spend. And I'm like, if I had this knowledge then, I'll be in a better financial position now, but I'm glad that you're talking about it because your kids see that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, if we can build better habits young, there's certain situations we would never get into because we'll be building better habits. So I appreciate you preaching it, get them in the habit of doing it. I think when I got my first job, I got my mom had me go open up a savings account, but didn't understand the power of saving. You know what I'm saying? Savings and investing and everything like that. So yeah, I'm so happy that you're putting this out here so we can get on the straight and narrow. Thank you, LaKeisha.
My pleasure. I just, you know, um, especially in the African American community, it's like it's really a passion of mine because by me being an ex-banker, I just saw so much. Even people who had a really good job, they had a really good job, but they were still just living paycheck to paycheck. Just putting that money in saves. If they was putting some of that money into a brokerage account, into some investments, ooh, they, uh, they would have been so much further ahead. Yes, I'm Moonlight Minerals.
I just wanted to piggyback off of that. That's one thing that my mom definitely instilled in me. She would tell me stories of how, she's a teacher. And after a while, she noticed I'm just spending all my money going to the mall. And before she knew it, she's like, wait a minute, I should be investing this money for the future. So instead of going to the mall after she got paid, she would take that money and put it into a brokerage account with Charles Schwab. Um, and the only reason I know the name Charles Schwab to this day is because that's all she talked about when I was growing up. I'm like, why would you go to Charles Schwab? Like, um, so I agree with you. And unfortunately, I think it might be a cultural thing. I noticed, specifically in the Black community, and with the big three like Ford, Chrysler, and GM, a lot of people from our culture, they moved from the South to the North to work and have a good job and work that job for 30 years. But the determining factor is, what did you do with that money when you worked for 30 years? Did you spend it all on cars? Or did you invest it? Did you buy property? Did you buy stock? Like, what did you do with that money? And so I hear stories from my parents and my mom, specifically her friends, about how they're retiring, but they don't have any money. They have to go back to work because they didn't invest. And so that's something that I think is not emphasized enough in our culture, is investing.
Oh my God. You know, and I saw that a lot in the banking, being in the banking, people who very good salary, most of them the automotive industry. Because when I grew up, well, we all grew up, you made it if you worked in the automotive industry, just like you made it, hey, that's the life. Profit sharing checks, driving the cars that you want, you made it. Paycheck to paycheck. I have a friend now who has a restaurant and always talking about millions that been through this restaurant. Millions. What are you talking about? Millions that been through here. Millions. But don't have a pot to piss in. Excuse my language. Oops, did I say that?
You
Ooh,
did. That's the saying. That's the saying.
It's the
nothing.
saying. It's true, though. It's
Or
true.
you've had this restaurant for over 10 something years. You're priding yourself saying millions of dollars have come through here and you don't have anything saved up. Now you're getting older. Now you have health ailments, health challenges. That's just not cool. That's just not cool. Boring equal profitability. It is boring, but it is.
Quick
That's
question,
so
LaKeisha.
true.
How can I say this? Are there any books out there that that breaks it down in common language? Because I'm gonna be honest, investing terms are about as foreign to me as tech terms are as foreign to you. You know what I'm saying? We could talk all tech all day, computer, AI, all that. I'll get it. But the moment you start talking about Roth ROA and everything, and I think it's the terminology that is like, okay, I don't understand it. And because I don't understand it, that's probably one of the reasons why I'm not doing it because it's like, I'm confused. Is there any books out there that break it down in common language for you to understand what it is that you're venturing upon?
So I'm glad you're talking about that because I'm working on a digital product right now that also has that in there. Terminology that you should know, right? But certain things like the ETFs, right? You all know so much more than the average person, right? You can truly make some moves with the information from this last year now. Y'all know about REITs, real estate investment trusts. Y'all know about ETFs. You know about passive income, different companies to look at. So you much further ahead. But yes, I'm working on getting that digital product out, and it does have one of the things is the terminology. I'm just gonna share a couple more things because it's 10 on the nose. Um, Discipline creates freedom. Being consistent, being intentional. Because when you're doing this, you're not losing anything. You're really gaining your freedom. You're really gaining. Would you rather be entertained or wealthy? I think everybody on here would prefer to be wealthy than entertained. These are some places where you can go to open up a brokerage account. Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Ameritrade, Vanguard, young people doing Robinhood. So
Can you
these
put
are,
this food up? I got to get on a Zoom call.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh. Final thoughts. The
Oh,
goal is not to get rich fast. Wealth is built quietly. Transfer intentionally, having a goal, having a plan. What are you going to do? I need some money for my retirement. I need some stocks that's specifically for my vacation. I need some stocks specifically for whatever it is that you want. Protect them through stewardship, being consistent. The goal is to stop funding the world and start owning it. Thank you for your time. I hope you all got something out of this presentation. And I'll stop sharing. Yeah, this is just so huge about investing, thinking about what you want to invest in, how much you want to invest in. Just take baby steps. The first step is to open up the brokerage account. It's $0. The second step is take $5. Just, get your feet wet. Just see. And so it's 10:03, so I want to respect your time. I thank you all so much for coming. I give you all a hand of applause. Thank you for the interaction and sharing. Everyone who shared, because we're growing together. We're growing, we're building, and I'm excited. Last year was like 53 something people that actually signed up and opened up brokerage accounts, even may start making investments and different things like that. And then some stuck. They just opened but wasn't for sure what to invest in. And so now I'm hoping this will simplify some things for you when you get your income tax. Don't spend it all on stuff. Don't spend it all on bills. Make yourself a bill. So let's hug ourselves because we do so much of helping other people and running our businesses. So let's love on ourselves. We don't give ourselves enough love. Give yourself some mercy and some grace. Don't be so hard on yourself. Let's hug the world because the world needs a hug too. And let's please sprinkle love and light to all of those that are in authority. We send enough love and light to those that are in authority. We never know what. Let's work it out with a bang. God bless you all.
Have a good day.
You too.